We are live on Africa's largest television network from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. This is Nationwide, and I'm Rhoda Anonam. President Muhammadu Buhari is currently in a closed-door meeting with members of the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Discussions center on the state of the nation, the journey so far since re-election, and the best way forward. We'll bring you details of this in our subsequent news belt. Kaduna State Government has constituted a judicial commission of inquiry into 2018-2019 conflicts in Kajuru and neighboring communities. Mohammed Umar Ajengi reports.
Commission of inquiry headed by a senior judge with Kaduna State High Court Isa Aliu is to identify the immediate and remote causes of the conflict which separate to neighboring communities with a view to building sustainable peace in the state.
The Kaduna State Government expects that the work of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry will not only establish the facts, but will also help government and the communities involved to advance peace and justice. It is our hope that community leaders will encourage people to lift their gaze above division, to embrace a common humanity, and respect the right of everyone to life, liberty, and legitimate livelihoods.
Among its mandates is to identify individuals, traditional and religious institutions, including other associations that might have contributed in fueling the crisis. This is in addition to assessing the level of damage for necessary recommendations to government or legal action against the culprits. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajengi, NTA News.
The Ondo State Government says its willingness and capacity to resolve crises is a way of enhancing peace in the state. The State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, stated this while inaugurating the 5-man panel on the crisis between Araromi Obu and Ikale land over ownership of Agbo Alaye farm settlement. Wasiu Rauf reports.
Violence erupted between Araromi Obu and Ikale communities over Agbo Alaye farm settlement, which resulted into loss of lives and property. The state government moved swiftly by imposing a curfew on the two communities, while meetings were held between the state government and leaders of the warring factions of the two communities. While inaugurating the panel of inquiry into the crisis, Governor Akeredolu said the inauguration of the panel is the high point of his administration's determination to resolve the crisis, adding that it is also aimed at discouraging such occurrence in future.
We must ensure there is peace. No reasonable government will stand by and allow properties to be destroyed. And I'm happy the step we have taken has turned it. And therefore, enjoy you to be dispassionate. Just hold the Bible. You're just holding the scared. Be dispassionate. Don't take any side. Be courageous. Just be just. And be fair to all parties in the dispute.
The chairman of the panel, Tunde Atere, promised that the panel will not disappoint the people of the state and vowed to do a thorough job. The panel is expected to submit its report in 3 weeks. In Akure, Wasiro, NTA News.
The federal government has declared Monday 12th and Tuesday 13th August as public holiday to mark the 2019 Eid al-Kabir celebration. In a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations, Mohammed Manga, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Barrister Georgina Ekeoma Ukeria, calls on all Nigerians at home and in diaspora to use the period of this year's Eid al-Kabir celebration to embrace the virtues of love, humility, peace and sacrifice as exemplified by the Holy Prophet Muhammad. She urges Nigerians to shun any form of disruptive tendencies and join hands with the federal government to build a peaceful, strong and united Nigeria so as to achieve an enviable next level of growth and development. She reaffirms the determination of the President Muhammadu Buhari's led administration to protect lives and properties of Nigerians, adding that security agencies under the ministry have been directed to ensure the provision of adequate security before, during and after the Eid al-Kabir celebration. The Permanent Secretary restates government's desire to all Nigerians to live a life of sacrifice, charity, love for one another. She wishes Nigerians happy, peaceful and fulfilling Eid al-Kabir celebration. Another set of 64 local government cash transfer facilitators have undergone step-down training to enable them equip beneficiaries on savings and group mobilization. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that this is the second phase of numerators that will sensitize more than 10,000 poor vulnerable households in 15 local government areas of Kano State.
The step-down training for cash transfer facilitators is one among the series of trainings undertaken by state units to ensure compliance with the let-down rules. Enumerators were formed in groups to know the do's and don'ts of the exercise. National Training Officer of Cash Transfer Office, Kola Solomon, says the exercise has achieved a lot in the last 3 years, commending the facilitators for their zeal.
We want to believe that at the end of this training, they will be equipped enough to go back to the community and cascade the training to the beneficiaries.
Some of the facilitators express optimism that the training will go a long way in boosting their capacity to deliver on their mandate.
We are being trained on how to coach and monitor our beneficiaries. We go to their communities, how to spend their money, how to invest, not just to finish everything at once.
The conditional cash transfer program has so far empowered more than 50,000 poor and vulnerable households in the state. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Now, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has released documents on the policies and programs of the Buhari administration to ministers designating Abuja to guide them in the execution of the next level agenda. Mitari Ikbeng has more.
The documents enclosed in these briefcases include status report on policies, programs and projects of the Buhari administration, as well as the 2019 to 2023 roadmap of the administration and the Federal Executive Council Handbook. SGF Boss Mustafa told the ministers designate to diligently study the documents, which he says contain strategic information that will enable all cabinet members pull together as a team in policy implementation and service delivery to Nigerians. Some of the ministers designate speak on this approach of government.
This means that this administration is going to start on a very serious note. The ministers are expected to hit the ground running, and every minister, our expectation is will have clear deliverables that will be expected of them.
It's just a proactive measure. Before you join the cabinet, you should know what is expected of you to do.
The office of the SGF, particularly the cabinet office, has given us so much hope that yes, indeed, information dissemination will be very easy, and from here we'll now be able to also talk to Nigerians, and then things will flow.
So it's like our interaction with the government of the Federation has already started. We call it evidence of good things ahead.
Together we can make Nigeria better. Together we can make the next level better.
It is expected that President Buhari would assign respective portfolios to all 43 ministers designate after their swearing-in ceremony slated for Wednesday, 21st of August at the council chambers of the State House. Meanwhile, an induction retreat for the ministers will hold on 19th and 20th August 2019 in Abuja. Mitari Ikben, NTA News.
With the exit of many experienced public servants from the public service, the need for capacity building to enhance the skills of existing ones has become imperative. Director General Bureau for Public Service Reforms, Dr. Dasuki Arabi, stated this when he paid a visit to the Public Service Institute of Nigeria. Astin Anyebe reports.
Public servants are the drivers of government policies and programs. They are therefore expected to be efficient in executing their task. This underscores the need for enhanced training for those in service to keep abreast with the dynamics of service delivery, particularly in relation with federal government reforms in key sectors of the economy, has been evolved by President Muhammadu Buhari. This is the collaboration the Director General Bureau for Public Service Reforms, Dr. Dasuki Arabi, is seeking from the Administrator, Public Service Institute of Nigeria.
We have beautiful strategies, beautiful documents that cannot be implemented if the staff are not trained, if they don't have the capability.
He noted that the Bureau has initiated several reforms that are strategic to development since it was established in 2004. The reforms have added value to the management of public finance, but needs to be sustained through capacity building of public servants in ICT and promoting e-governance.
National strategy on public service reforms is built around 4 pillars. Pillar 3 is talking to public financial management. And we are glad to say that more than 85% of the aspirations under Pillar 3 have been implemented.
On the part of the Public Service Institute of Nigeria, it has developed several aspects of training manuals in areas of ICT and entrepreneurial skills.
The Nigerian public servant of today must be ICT compliant if you must key into the reforms.
The institute is currently training 1,000 public servants under the Vision 2020 strategic reforms by the head of service in Abuja. I'm Astin Anyebe, NTA News.
If you've just joined us, you're watching Nationwide on the NTA. Our first port of call today is Maiduguri, where we have Mohammed who's standing by. Mohammed, if you would update us on happenings in your zone. It's over to you.
Exactly, Rhoda. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us in Maiduguri. Federal government pensioners under the Defined Benefit Scheme, DBS, have commended government for prompt payment of monthly pension and 6 months arrears of 33%. The pensioners made their feelings known during the last phase verification exercise by Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, holding at Borno State Hotels, Maiduguri. Pauline Kujevana reports.
The physical verification exercise had pensioners and next of kin across Borno and Yobe states to create a permanent database for the payment of their benefits and entitlement. In Borno state, there are mobile and stationary verifications by the officials of Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, who go to hospitals and houses of sick pensioners for data capturing, while the aged were given preferential treatment at the designated center. In an interactive session with the Executive Secretary PTAD, Sharon Ekazo, the pensioners expressed satisfaction with the orderliness and treatment, but however lamented over loss of document to the insurgency.
Prior to PTAD existence, we were paid, sometimes paid after 9 months. Sometimes even the month ends, we are getting our pension. We really appreciate that, and we are thanking the government for that.
Before, people normally sleep under the bridge when this type of exercise is happening in Abuja. But right now it's at our doorstep. It's not the money that matters, but how you receive people who have worked for you.
We want to achieve a true and genuine pensioner payroll for the federal government, because this will help us in budgeting. PTAD has restored hope in pension administration in Nigeria.
Sharon Ikazu said, in addition to the PTAD office in Damaturu, another will be established in Maiduguri to entertain complaints after the verification exercise. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
Borno State government is to key into Ruga Farm Settlement Initiative of the federal government. Governor Babagana Umara announced this when he inspected the State Agricultural Resources Team farmlands along Bama Road. Jesse Tafida completes the story.
Professor Babagana Umara said security will be provided in those settlements in addition to potable drinking water and other social amenities to enable herders graze.
That will eliminate or reduce the issues of farmers-herders clashes
And then the government of Borno State will key in to this scheme with a view to ensuring that the majority of our nomads that have no access to land should have their lands.
Chairman Agricultural Resource Team Musa Inu Okubu said about 6 different locations have been mapped out in the places declared safe, and that government is working with all stakeholders to ensure the success of the program. Governor Babagana Umara was also at Daluri Village and Kontaga Local Government Secretariat, where he assured support to the CJTF and hunters through provision of logistics to enable them protect farmers on their farmland. In Maiduguri, Jesse Tafida, NTA News.
Ram business is at its peak in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, as the Eid al-Kabir celebration draws near. Jatwa John Jesney has a situation report.
Aside from Gamboru Livestock Market and the Blunkutu Ram Market being the recognized market for the sale of ram, several points sprang up at strategic places defacing the metropolis. Buyers who spoke to NTA News lamented over the hike in price as compared to last year, revealing that a significant difference of up to 10,000 is added on each ram. Ram dealers, on the other hand, attributed the hike in price to the expenses encountered in the course of transportation. According to them, the ram are imported into Maiduguri from Gamborungala, Chad, Dopchi, Bayamari, Gashua, Nguru, Askirauba, Kwayakusar and Biu, among other parts of the northeast region.
Mun je gun da muke samu dabban dan sauki ma ya gagara. Mun so kayan ga ya tsada can matsada nan din kuma ma sai kuma kowa yana kukan babu babu.
Abu na 30, 35, 32 ba kasuwa.
Others, on the other hand, are making brisk business with the creation of these satellite markets, thereby creating a source of living for themselves.
Despite the lingering security challenges which affected socio-economic activities in Borno, the business of ram and other livestock is thriving as Eid al-Kabir is barely few days away. In Maiduguri, Jatwa John Jesney, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories from Maiduguri. It's now back to Rhoda in Abuja for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Mohammed there for us from our Maiduguri Network Center. This is Nationwide. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we have more stories from across the country. So stay with us.
Protocol and event management are special skills which can only be acquired through training and experience. NTA TV College Jos is organizing a special 2-week course on protocol, event management and public relations to upgrade the capacities of practitioners. The course will equip participants with modern skills, techniques and international best practices in protocol, event management and public relations. Also, a special 4-week intensive course on non-linear editing techniques will run concurrently. The course will expose participants to modern techniques and technologies of non-linear editing. Take advantage of this course to hone your professional skills for premium packaging of your programs and reports. The venue for both courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA Television College, near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos, Plateau State. Date 19th to 30th August 2019 for the course on protocol, event management and public relations. 19th August to 13th September 2019 for basic non-linear editing techniques. Course fee 100,000 naira only per participant. Accommodation inclusive. For more information, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
They are there at the crack of dawn. They are there busy preparing while we rise for our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and watching. They are there ready in the sky above and the waters below, in the blistering heat of the day, in the dead of night, willing, indefatigable, determined in the defense of the sovereignty of our country. They are our first line of defense and our last. They who have paid the ultimate price in defending us. They are fathers and uncles. They are mothers and sisters and girlfriends and boyfriends. They are brothers and cousins and best friends and neighbors. They are classmates, colleagues and citizens of this nation. They are our defenders and deserve our respect, our prayers, our thoughts. Nigeria, please support our armed forces.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source?
Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it. Don't spread it.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Thank you for being there, and if you've just joined us, this is Nationwide. Anglican bishops in Enugu canvass for peace and unity in Nigeria. Fessi has details of this and other reports from our Enugu Network Center. Fessi, it's over to you.
Thank you, Rhoda, and welcome to Enugu Network Center. The Archbishop of Ecclesiastical Province and Bishop of Enugu Anglican Communion, His Grace Emmanuel Chukwuma, has commended the Enugu State Government for the establishment of forest guards and the bill against kidnapping in the state. He stated this at the Provincial Episcopal Emergency Meeting of the Diocese held at the Cathedral Church of Good Shepherd. Chinenye Nwoye reports.
Commending the state government for strategies to curb killings, kidnapping, and insecurity in the state, the Anglican Archbishop of Enugu Ecclesiastical Province, Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, condoled the Catholic faithful on the death of Reverend Father Paul Ofu, who was allegedly murdered last week by unknown gunmen. Archbishop Chukwuma pointed out that for a crime-free society to be achieved, traditional rulers and members of the public have a pivotal role to play by reporting suspicious persons to the law enforcement agencies. He also appealed to the federal government to enhance the security architecture of the country for optimum performance.
We want to commend the government of Enugu State under the leadership of Right Honorable Ifeanyi Chukwu Lawrence Ugwuanyi for all that he has risen up to do at this time. At the same time, we want to call upon all church leaders to intensify their prayers.
The Anglican bishops called for continuous prayers by Nigerians for peace and tranquility in the country. In Enugu, Chinenye Nwoye, NTA News.
Health experts have encouraged mothers to breastfeed their children exclusively for 6 months to promote the health of mothers and children alike. They gave the advice in an event to commemorate the World Breastfeeding Week. Chika Ugu reports that the week was initiated by the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and other organizations to protect, promote, and support breastfeeding.
Breastfeeding Week is celebrated every year from August 1st to 7th to encourage breastfeeding and improve the health of babies around the world. According to health experts, breast milk is loaded with antibodies that help babies acquire immunity against virus, bacteria, and other diseases. Most health authorities recommend exclusive breastfeeding for at least 6 months before introduction of different foods into the baby's diet, while continuing with breastfeeding.
Breast milk is the best milk for the baby because breast milk gives a lot of nutrients. It has a lot of nutrients that protect the baby.
The most important one is the first breast milk that comes out. We call it colostrum. It's very important for a child. But I would discover that mothers used to throw it away.
Numerous studies have also shown that babies who are not breastfed are more vulnerable to health issues like pneumonia, diarrhea, and infections.
You see a baby that is having exclusive breastfeeding, you don't have such disease because you are not washing anything. Even the feeding bottle, the cup and spoon.
Breastfeeding, health experts say, also decreases the risk of mothers developing breast cancer, ovarian cancer, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. To promote the importance of family-friendly policies and encourage breastfeeding, including Nigeria, have enacted a law for paid maternity leave in Enugu. Chika Ugu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Enugu State Chapter has donated sound relief materials to the Vocational Rehabilitation Center in Emene, Enugu. Eukaria Ugu reports that the donation was made by the chairperson of the group and wife of the air officer commanding the ground training, Hajan Afisat Idi Amin, who led the delegation to pay a charity visit to the center.
In the items, Hajan Afisat Idi Amin noted that the gesture was born out of the pathetic state the group found a physical challenge in its earlier visit, and also to maintain the first corporate social responsibility, which is service to humanity.
We want somewhere that really needs help, so we now fish out this rehab center. We came earlier this year, and we saw firsthand challenges they had.
Expressing his gratitude, the principal vocational rehabilitation center, Emene, Mr. Tony Ago, commended the group for the gesture, noting that the relief materials came when they are mostly needed.
This August, we'll go to all the local governments to recruit new students. And what has been bedeviling my mind, which year they will use when we have new intake. Aside all that, who have traveled on holidays, who have no wheelchair, and God has answered us.
The relief materials donated include wheelchairs, crutches, bags of rice, noodles, and toiletries. In Enugu, Eukaria Ugu, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Enugu is back to Rhoda in Abuja for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Fessi, there for us from our Enugu Network Center. Now we'll take you to Zamfara State, where internally displaced persons have benefited from agricultural and educational materials, courtesy of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and IDPs, Sadia Umar Farouk, who flagged up the distribution of assistance in Gusau, said it is aimed at providing succor to the victims. Haliur Muhammad Umar reports.
Agriculture and education have suffered serious setback in Zamfara State since the eruption of crisis, which forced several affected persons to leave their houses and farmlands for safety. With normalcy gradually returning to the state, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons deemed it necessary to support the IDPs with agricultural inputs and educational items. Items distributed include fertilizers, tractors, motorcycles, seedlings, chemicals, sandals, and reading and writing materials, among others.
I believe this package will contribute in no small measures in uplifting the social and economic conditions of the IDPs in the state.
We're bringing these items, agricultural items, and educational materials to people who have been displaced, but they are ready to go back to farm.
Although this is not the first time the Commission is providing intervention in different forms, this one is unique at the time of the rainy season, when most of the farmers are expected to go back to their farmlands for agricultural activities. In Gusau, Halir Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
Nigerians, especially relevant rescue agencies, have been advised to brace up for more flooding challenges that could arise from excessive rainfall and the eventual release of dam water by neighboring countries. Experts on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, who gave the warning, blamed the flood casualties being experienced so far on inadequate sensitization and poor town planning. Serafina Okon tells us more.
From the loss of a director of finance in the FCTI courts to the death of 4 students of the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University in Bauchi, the casualties of flash floods in parts of the country is on the increase, and experts are calling for sensitization and vigilance.
We have not really gotten into the peak of flooding in Nigeria, especially river flooding, which is expected to arrive in Nigeria. I mean, they flow from upper catchments, Niger, Mali, Guinea, Cameroon, Chad, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Benin Republic. It will be in about a month's time to be arriving.
You are on the road and you are moving
don't underrate the power of water. The little pool of water you see when you are talking about how
precaution.
Exactly. So just change your route. Do not insist on plying that particular route.
Nigerians were reminded that it is criminal to obstruct rescue operations on proper flood management.
But there is this Nigerian factor that's really militating in us. No commitment, no dedication, even on the part of the staffs. These are some of the problems they had in that incident. There was no proper incident management established in that area. So the crowds was nearly turning to a mob.
If there's an emergency, you cannot fly there. You have to drive in your vehicle. If you are far from that place, there's not magic you can perform. All these things we have highlighted to government.
The guest emphasized that poor funding remains a challenge, but canvassed greater grassroots sensitization to encourage Nigerians living on flood prones to relocate to safety in good time. Serafina Okon, NTA News.
The Imo State Police Command says they are on the trail of the culprit behind the murder of an unidentified girl found in a hotel room in Owerri, the state capital. The police public relations officer, Orlando Ikeoku, made this known while reacting to the incident. Bright Eboche has details.
According to the Imo State Police Public Relations Officer, a man checked into a hotel last Wednesday, the 31st of July 2019, with a lady, only for her to be found dead the following Monday, being Thursday, 1st August 2019, in a mysterious circumstance.
Based on that, the divisional police officer and a team of policemen moved into the hotel premises and went to the room, and there they recovered the corpse of a girl stark naked with a white handkerchief around her neck, hidden under the bed.
The Imo State Police Command image maker Orlando Ikoko also advises members of the public to be security conscious and ensure they disclose details of their movement to family members.
The man took away all the belongings of the girl, including her underwears and every other thing. So as a result, there is no means of identification. So presently we have started the investigation, and every other thing will be unraveled as we have some leads we are following on.
In Owerri, Bright Ebochio, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide. Let's now join Kemi Oshin, who's in our Ibadan Network Center, as she updates us on stories making the rounds over there. Kemi, you're on.
Thank you, Rhoda, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Nigeria Customs Service Oyosho Command reveals that the command generated about 24 billion naira from various seizures between January and July 2019. Controller Oyosho Command made this known in Ibadan while reviewing activities of the command. Correspondent Adibola Ogulano was there.
Speaking on the success of the command in the first half of the year, over 210 million duty-paid value was made via goods seized from January to July this year. The command said 93 vehicles, 6,607 bags of rice, 730 vegetable oil, 39 bales of second-hand clothing, 966 used tires, 50 bags of sugar and 6 bundles of textile materials were confiscated.
And advise our brothers who are into this business, let the traditional rulers talk to their people. It will be better for us if you come back home and try to be self-sufficient.
The command noted that 35 suspects were
All right. right, well, sorry, that's the much we can take from our Ibadan Network Center right now. We seem to be having some technical challenges over there, but as soon as we can, we'll see if we can get back there. Now, guests on NTA's Current Affairs program Tuesday Live are canvassing unity of purpose in the pursuit for national interest for developmental gains. Talatu Ezerike, who monitored the program, reports that discussants equally frowned at individuals and groups' actions threatening national unity.
Different components make up the society, which in turn anchored on law and order. 18-year-old Naomi Paul understands the implication of going against laid-down rules of her family.
You must be obedient. If mommy calls, she said she must not call you more than twice. You must be there immediately she calls. Any other thing will lead to punishment.
Just like Naomi's family, the larger society is guided by the rule of law as entrenched in the Constitution, the grand norm of Nigeria's democracy. It was therefore shocking to many when the call for a revolution was made, a development that was condemned as illegality and has raised questions on whether the people really understand the consequences of unconstitutional acts, or is it a hidden agenda?
If we are not careful, activism may lead to anarchy if we don't check it. So when we have our activists taking certain positions, those positions still need to be interrogated.
You could see a lot of temperamental expression in the matter. There's a difference between strategy and anger. There's a difference between what is desirable and what is feasible.
For others, there should be no compromise to acts that undermine national security.
Nobody should be bigger than the law.
By mere mention of the word revolution has already triggered an alarm within the security system.
Well, another matter of insecurity being addressed is the El Zazaki-led Islamic movement of Nigeria, which was just banned on grounds of terrorist activities.
The Nigerian state must do everything to preserve its sovereignty.
Okay.
It has to be independent of all other governments in this world.
This narrative has to be changed.
I want to answer your question from
and the traditional rulers, they have the way to do it.
It was generally agreed that security is a wheel of progress that propels nations to greatness, making it necessary for Nigeria to take seriously. It is also believed that all components of the society have roles to play for the likes of Naomi to grow and contribute to nation building. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
Leveraging on the gains of the support of the government of South Korea to embrace e-commerce in Nigeria's public service, the Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA Nigeria office is sampling opinion on how to make the policy work in the country. Onengie Fineface reports that the focus of the information exchange is the attainment of a transparent, open and corrupt-free governance and public service.
For 6 years, the government of South Korea has been providing support services to help Nigeria consolidate on the gains of e-governance in public service. This support is manifested in the training of public servants within Nigeria and in South Korea, and the eventual approval of the e-governance master plan by the federal government. Stakeholders at this workshop, organized at the instance of the Korea International Cooperation Agency, KOICA Nigeria office, are sharing knowledge to make e-governance work in Nigeria, learning from the Korean experience.
Korea is working with Nigeria to share new innovation, facilitating the high growth of the e-governance in Nigeria.
As those driving policy, we can implement the right policies if we understand the digital trends.
The United Nations places South Korea high on its e-governance and e-participation global index. Implementing e-governance, which is hinged on utilizing information communication technology in driving governance and improving the quality and cost of public service delivery, KOICA believes will place Nigeria at par with developed economies of the world and aid in the fight against corruption.
And be determined to develop a robust digital economy, focusing on investment in infrastructure, digital infrastructure, that will enable more of our citizens to participate in the gains of digitalization.
Outcomes of the workshop will determine the methodology for implementing the e-governance master plan in Nigeria. In Abuja, Onengiye Fineface, NT News.
Now let's see if we can re-establish our connection with our Ibadan Network Center, where Kemi Oshie is standing by. Kemi, if you will, update us on what's happening over there.
Thanks for rejoining Ibadan. Contamination of food, water and soil has been described as a major factor contributing to global spread of diseases affecting human and animal lives. A professor of aquatic epidemiology and toxicology, Olanike Adeyemo, said these at a lecture organized by the University of Ibadan. Shola Wahid has the reports.
Public health is the art of preventing diseases, prolonging lifespan, and promoting health through organized effort of individuals towards having a clean society. In a lecture titled Environmental, Animal and Human Health, the three-braided cord for a public health veterinarian, Professor Olanike Adeyemo stressed the need to avoid dirty environment in order to enhance healthy living. She said the relationship between humans and animals are mutually beneficial, dynamic and essential to the health and well-being of both.
What the government needs to do is to actually be proactive. Most of the time we are very reactive. Whether you're an environmental professional, you're a medical doctor, you're a vet doctor, we have to come together to provide solutions.
Three things. She said our environment, animal and human being. So those are the three, those are the two things majorly in an environment, and that's what they call ecosystem. And that's why he said that we should always keep our environment clean.
Government, stakeholders in the health sectors and individuals are urged to manage waste generation, accumulation and disposal for the benefit of all. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
Nigeria Customs Service Oyoshu Command reveals that the command generated about 24 billion naira from various seizures between January and July 2019. Controller Oyoshu Command made this known in Ibadan while briefing on the activities of the command. Correspondent Adebola Ogulano was there and now reports.
Speaking on the success of the command in the first half of the year, over 210 million duty-paid value was made via goods seized from January to July this year. The command said 93 vehicles, 6,607 bags of rice, 730 vegetable oil, 39 bales of second-hand clothing, 966 used tires, 50 bags of sugar and 6 bundles of textile materials were confiscated.
And advise our brothers who are into this business, let the traditional rulers talk to their people. It will be better for us if you come back home and try to be self-sufficient.
The command noted that 35 suspects were arrested in connection with the above seizures, while 5 were charged to court and others are on bail. In Ibadan, Adebola Ogulano, NTA News.
And for Nigeria to attain corrupt-free society, sustaining positive values as well as addressing poverty level in the country should be the measures to be considered. This is the submission of speakers at a public enlightenment program by the National Orientation Agency in Ilorin. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya has details.
Corruption is one of the major problems the country is currently dealing with. Although federal government and other relevant stakeholders are putting so much in place to tackle the menace, it is in view of this that the National Orientation Agency organized a forum where relevant stakeholders can brainstorm on the way forward for Nigeria, with the theme, Value Orientation and Fight Against Corruption.
It is a developmental process where all engage together. We will work with all the agencies, NOA, EFCC, Presidential Advisory Council, to make sure that these abuses disappear.
Corruption, the government believed then, it also believes now. If you want to improve security in Nigeria, if you want to improve the economy in Nigeria, then you have to fight corruption.
Until we are able to address corruption from the point of view of what can I do.
Stakeholders are, however, of the opinion that every individual, irrespective of gender, religion or tribe, has a role to play in the fight against corruption. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Is back to you, Rhoda, for more on Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Kemi. Now, the last batch of Nigerians performing the 2019 pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia have departed from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport this evening, made up of 301 pilgrims and 86 officials. The last flight was led by the chairman of the National Hajj Commission, Mukhtar Abdullahi, who disclosed that about 60,000 Nigerian pilgrims are taking part in the spiritual act of worship in Saudi Arabia this year. The Nigerian pilgrims were conveyed in 93 flights from different international airports across the country.
Based, not a post-mortem kind of operation. Wherever we happen to encounter any problem, we should be able to do everything humanly possible to resolve it there and then.
Airlifting of Nigerian pilgrims to Saudi Arabia began on the 11th of July 2019, and the pilgrims actually left Tuesday night. Countering piracy through cooperative maritime security efforts is what informed an international study tour to the Republic of Kenya by participants of course 3 of the National Naval War College, Nigeria. With the talk concluded, participants say the collaboration would drastically reduce the speed of piracy along Nigerian maritime domain and the Gulf of Guinea. Abel Paul has the report.
The Nigerian maritime environment has been confronted with lots of challenges such as kidnapping, smuggling, maritime terrorism, and piracy, resulting to insecurity of lives as well as negative economic impact on the nation. This was what prompted the Naval War College, Nigeria, course 3 participants as part of its operational module to embark on the tour to Kenya with the aim of drawing lessons for Nigeria and the Nigerian Navy, as well as seeking areas of collaboration.
It must be said that Kenya has in the past decades made tremendous achievements in combating piracy in its maritime domain.
My encouragement is for Nigeria to take its lead and take its position in Africa on this issue.
2 syndicate groups presented their report findings with issues centered on Kenyan Navy's counter-piracy operations within West Indian Ocean, strengths, weaknesses, as well as efforts of Kenyan government at combating piracy for enhanced economic development.
It is hoped that some of the lessons learned, which includes provision of a national maritime strategy and that of power to prosecute, if well implemented, will ensure safety on Nigerian waterways. From the Naval War College, Nigeria, Calabar, I am Paul Abel, NTA News.
Motorists and commuters plying the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway for the Eid al-Kabir celebration can now breathe a sigh of relief as traffic has reduced following the completion of work at the Magboro mounting of fire section of the road. Paul Omokagbo is standing by with the details.
A few months back, getting access to this place was pretty difficult because of the construction that was ongoing on this part of the road between Magboro and Mountain of Fire. However, with the completion of this part, the contractor is focusing more on excavation to open up drains and construction of culverts. Let's get reactions from some road users.
Traffic is better now, as you can see. The whole cars are moving on fine with the demarcation they have. And in terms of quality, I give it to them too. So we will just exercise patience and bear with them.
We're coming now, there is no much traffic. Apart from maybe people stopping over at Kapasi, going into camp, and Ibafo, where we have some commercials dropping passenger and carrying passenger. So that is where we've been experiencing some little bit of traffic.
The work is really going on and it's very, very impressive. Since I've been coming now, I didn't see traffic, we are free. So we move, there's no traffic, no hold up. Unlike before,
We are always carried around along each time they want to walk on any section of the road. This axis that Julius Berger is handling. And we have been managing the traffic. Now we are at a very critical section, which is this Kara axis of the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, because this is like the neck of the whole road.
With the initial plan of work on the Ogun River Bridge area of this section, what are the alternative routes?
We are going to divide the inbound, that is inbound to Shagamu, inbound to Ibadan. We are going to do it in such a way that I can take two lane out of Lagos and then 2 lane into Shagamu. So that is just the whole idea. So it's not as if you are shutting down the road entirely. It's just a diversion.
Findings show that deaths from non-communicable diseases are now at an alarming rate, with 71% of global deaths linked to these illnesses. Nigeria, like other middle and low-income countries, contribute more to these indices. To this end, the Ministry of Health is launching a national multi-sectorial action plan to prevent and control of these diseases. Chimdima Ndubisi has more.
It has not been easy. 1 minute you're good to go, and the other minute is just pain.
36-year-old Abigail Benjamin narrating her ordeal as a sickle cell patient. Sickle cell disorder is a major contributor to non-communicable diseases burden in the African region, a condition that can lead to premature death. The World Health Organization says about 15 million people from low and middle income countries, Nigeria inclusive, die from these diseases, which are preventable if appropriate measures were put in place. These non-communicable diseases, which now include mental illnesses, cause low and middle income countries to lose about $7 trillion.
In Nigeria, the WHO 2018 global report on non-communicable diseases shows an overall prevalence of 29%, with cardiovascular disease having a prevalence of 11%, cancer 4%, and diabetes 2%.
We believe that the base healthcare provision fund and improving on community-based insurance scheme, reaching a lot of the people who live along the poverty lines, will help to contribute to address NCDs.
That's why the Ministry of Health is launching the National Multi-Sectorial Action Plan for the Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases. The plan forms a policy guideline towards reducing deaths between now and 2025. In Abuja, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we have some sports news.
The Nigerian national flag is a sacred national symbol. It is a mark of patriotism and a show of love for our nation to fly the national flag correctly, in the right colors, right dimension, and in the right sizes for each occasion. In recent times, it has been noticed that government offices, corporate organizations, banks, embassies, and other notable institutions fly faded, shredded, and haggard-looking versions of the national flag. This is wrong and must stop. It has also been noticed that some citizens prefer to popularize the national flag of other nations. Fellow countrymen and women, let us be patriotic. Come, let us show love for our motherland. Fly the correct versions of our national flag in all relevant places. Be patriotic. Be proud ambassadors of our great country.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
With heavy
heavy hearts but total submission to the will of God Almighty, we announce the passing on to glory of our beloved brother, husband, father, uncle, cousin, and nephew, Akinloye Olusegun Joseph Oyebanji, who slept in the Lord on July 27, 2019. Burial arrangements. Service of songs on August 8 at NTA Arena, NTA headquarters at 4 p.m. This will be followed by a Christian wake on August 15 at Akinloye's residence, Kionigbi, Isin local government area of Kwara State, at 5 p.m. Funeral service and Thanksgiving held on August 16 at All Saints Anglican Church, Okionigbi, at 10 a.m. before interment at the church spirit ground at Okionigbi in Kwara State. Rest in peace, Akinloye Oyebanji. Signed, Olubumi Oyebanji, for the family.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured residents of the state government's readiness to host the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup 2020. The governor gave the assurance when he received the Federation International de Football Association FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup inspection team at the State House, Alausa Ikeja. Nosa Osula reports.
Nigeria had put in a bid to host the 10th FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup Championship scheduled for 2020. However, following the bid, a FIFA 5-man inspection team is in the country to supervise Nigeria's expression of interest to host the age grade 16 Nation Championship. Governor Sanwo-Olu, while assuring the inspection team of the state's readiness, said hosting of the tournament is in line with his vision to improve the economy of the state through sports and entertainment.
And so for a vibrant population like ours, that you know that we're very good with music, with entertainment, sport is just the only one that we need to put onto the billing for us, that will make us a destination. We are pushing on all of our tourism potentials.
The president of the Nigeria Football Federation said he is optimistic of Nigeria's bid sailing through, having met the required standards.
For more assurance, but I believe this is very, very good for Nigeria because our female team truly, really, they've displayed high level of discipline, high level of maturity and patriotism, and I believe they should be accorded equal respect. And it's on that basis that we believe that we are going to push and make sure we host this tournament. For the first time in Africa, we hosted an Under-20 Female World Cup.
The FIFA inspection team had earlier visited the newly reconstructed Onikon Stadium, Teslim Balogun Stadium, the National Stadium Legacy Pitch for training, and the University of Lagos Sports Center also for training. In Lagos, Nusa Osula, NTA News.
The death has occurred today in Abuja of Haja Adiza, wife of the former acting governor of Taraba State, Alhaji Garba Umar. She was buried this afternoon in Abuja. Haja Adiza is survived by her husband and children, amongst other relatives. Now let's take a quick look at weather prospects. And that does it on Nationwide today. We thank you for watching. For more news updates at 7 and News Extra tonight at 9. On behalf of myself and the crew, we thank you for watching.